Are you ready?
Let's get after it. Oh, yeah.
Taco Fall! Taco Fall!
The Neon Ghost Show.
And yes, welcome back to another episode of the Neon Ghost Show. I appreciate you wasting your earlobes on me. Big episode, huge episode this week. I got my man Ed Short Fuse Herman, MMA legend, UFC royalty, should have said that differently, UFC legend, MMA royalty on the show. Met Ed a handful of months ago. We both commentated at a local promotion, Coga Combat Games. Shameless plug. Boom! We became friends real quick. We, started texting each other, talking shit. Hit him up one day. I said, hey man, come be on my show. He said, when? Give me a time. And I did. He hit me up. We sat down. We did the thing. We went all over it. His work with Northwest Fight Promotions. Him coming up November 4th to commentate with me. Coga Combat Games presents Rumble at the Reef, Silver Reef Casino, way up north. Bet Ed Herman will be there with me. The next day he's getting on a plane going to Brazil to teach some seminars. In between now and November 4th, my man is flying to Hawaii, getting with Kendall Grove, bringing together a charity, Fight for Lahaina. He'll be there doing some seminars, signings, doing all the things. The links for that charity will be in the description of this show. I also got to ask him about the big three, what he thinks and who he's taking. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, and will we see Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler? This episode was awesome. I love that, Herman. I love that I said, hey man, come be on my show. And all he said was, give me a date and a time. And we did the damn thing. So enjoy me and Ed Short Fuse Herman.
Yo, what's up?
My dude.
How you
How
doing?
are you? I'm good.
I'm all right.
Are you at the
Just,
home gym getting a workout in?
Right now, I was just moving that bag out of my way.
Oh,
I'm just at home, battling with my kids, trying to get them to do chores,
Yep, dad stuff.
fun stuff like that.
First off, congratulations on your boy Jamal won a belt and signed a contract.
Yeah, he signed with a pro, organization or a management company, right, to help him, kind of proceed in his career to the next level.
So you having been through all this, what does that mean? Like you're a fighter, you've stepped up from amateur, and now a management team wants to sign you to pro. Like how does that work out? What happens then?
Well, we're affiliated with the management company, so when guys get to a certain level, we will turn them over to this company that we're affiliated with a little bit, or they sign with a bigger company or a different, management company. I don't know. Things are a lot different now than when I turned pro.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? It's been 20 years. So he's one of the hottest prospects in the country as an amateur, I feel like. So he had companies reaching out to him from all over the place, I believe, trying to contact him. But yeah, it's kind of a new process, you know what I mean, for a lot of us, with this next generation of guys turning pro, and there being so many eyes on the sport, and everybody out looking for the next, the next Conor McGregor or the next Khabib, it's a lot more cutthroat too. There's a lot of bad people out there trying to make a dollar off everybody too. So you got to try to look out for yourself and the young guys around you as well.
That's a benefit for him to have guys like you as a mentor and in his corner who have been through that and seen all that. So to have you there and the other guys in your gym, people like that around, that's just more added benefit to these guys.
For sure. And, I'm just on the coaching side, so I have a different view than like a manager might have as far as bringing a fight to the table. We try to stay in good communication with those management companies who manage our fighters. That way, we're all on the same page. Like, hey, coach, do you think this is a good fight for so-and-so? yes or no, or this is why, or what, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, totally.
a group
So
effort.
staying on this same category of these events, another congratulations is Northwest Fight Promotions just put on another successful event. What was it? Cage Warriors Northwest, right?
Yeah.
And you were
So,
there. Were you on the mic calling fights and stuff for them?
so we didn't do commentating. That was our second show. So we're trying to get all our logistics in order with some of the more basic stuff, and then production and commentating will hopefully be coming soon. Something
Nice.
that we need to, add to the rest of it is, what I mean? There's a lot to go into production and filming and commentating. It takes some time and some work to get all that stuff in order, as well as the rest of it.
And you want to have the foundation built before you start adding that type of stuff in.
Yes. Yeah. So we're doing pretty good. And, there's also financial cost to add into all that stuff, audio and video and things like that. So, we're second show. We're doing good. We're still rocking. And we're looking forward to April 13th, I think, is going to be our next show, if I'm correct.
How was the event itself? People turn out?
Yeah, we had a good turnout. We had a lot of support from the locals, a lot of local companies getting involved, and good local crowd. We didn't have as many local fighters as I wanted. It's originally the plan is to showcase as many local fighters as possible.
Fair.
And we're in Vancouver, so I'd like to have more guys from Vancouver. I think we only had one or two kids from Vancouver. And a lot of them were from Portland. We flew in a bunch of guys from California. There was a team from Seattle, a team from Vegas, which is cool to bring those other guys in, but I want to bring them in to fight the locals. You know what I mean? So it's like good guy versus bad guy, or out of towner versus in towners.
Home cage advantage versus.
Yeah, it's a fun dynamic. But I remember being that bad guy or whatever, the out of town guy, and getting booed by the crowd. And that's motivating too. And you learn a lot from that as a young fighter. So for those guys coming in, should be that good experience and that learning experience. I remember going in and shutting hometown crowds up, and there's no better feeling than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
So this episode will come out next week, which means Friday, the 20th, you're doing a big thing. Tell me about Fight for Lahaina.
Yeah, so I'm flying out to Oahu, and we're going to get together with the UFC Mililani gym out there. And do a big seminar, try to raise some money for Lahaina and the people suffering over there in Maui from all the tragedies. We're going to give back a huge portion of the money from that event. So we're really looking forward to that. I'm excited to get out there and be at the UFC gym, and hopefully we get a good turnout and a lot of people show up and we have a good time and raise a ton of money. And we're going to go over, a bunch of great MMA technique, and should be a good deal. And then a couple days later on Monday, I'm going to fly over to Maui, actually, which I didn't know that I would be able to do. And I'm hooking up with an old friend, Kendall Grove.
I love Kendall.
We fought in the finals of the Ultimate Fighter, almost 18 years ago.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool to get out there and team up with him. We're going to do a big seminar at his gym, and we're going to give 100% of the proceeds out there back to the people in Lahaina, because he's got people over at his gym training there from Lahaina, and it's going to be really cool. I'm excited.
Always been such a cool dude. Like, I've always liked him when he's a fighter, and now when I see him on social media, like, he's always one of the best dudes out there. I love him so much. Yeah,
I reached out to him right away and was like, hey, if I want to get out there and help, I want to make sure I'm doing it in the right places. Help me find the right organizations to send the money to, because I know he's very involved over there and what's going on. So if I could get over there and help out, and I didn't know if it was okay to go over to Maui right now, because a lot of the locals are like, we don't want anybody over here. You know what I mean?
No, I'm sure they make an exception for Ed Herman.
Well, if I can get over there and help, and it's like the martial arts stuff, you know what I mean? And I'm over there for the right reasons. I'm not just sitting over there in a resort sipping Mai Tais.
That would be the dick move, and that's not
living on the streets, so that's not. I'm going to probably stay with Kendall and, and just keep it local and give back as much as I can. It'll be exciting to be over there.
I will put the link to that charity. I'll put it in the description of this episode's.
There's two of them. There's the one through Eventbrite, and the UFC Gym Milani, and then there's the Kendall put a big post out for the one we're doing at his gym. So there's 2 different ones.
All right, I'll put them both in.
I'm trying to figure out how to get them both posted, but I suck at social media. I'm trying to get better at it. My lady woke me up tonight.
So then you're going from helping out Lahaina, hanging out with Kendall, and then you're going to come way up north and hang out with me on November 4th at Coga.
Yeah, so we're going to go up to Coga. I got a crazy schedule because I'm going to be up in Coga for November 4th. We're going to do the commentating. It's going to be a great show. I'm excited to be up there. Was it Clearwater Casino?
Silver Reef Casino.
Silver Reef, my bad. Silver Reef Casino. It's pretty far up north, I think.
Dude, it is so far up north. And
then me and the lady are going to drive back to Portland. I'm going to go straight to the airport, and I'm going to Brazil for our Fabiano Scherner Jiu-Jitsu experience that we do every year in Florianopolis, Brazil. We got about 18 clients coming out, and we're going to train at, a bunch of different gyms out there. We're all set up for a week of training and workshops all around Florianopolis. There's a bunch of gyms. It's a lot of history in jiu-jitsu there. So we're really excited about that. And
you're literally doing that the next morning. When you leave me at Coga, the next morning, straight to the airport.
So, I debated doing it just because it's such a tight, window there, but I love doing those shows up there. There's a lot of great energy, and working with you guys up there is a great thing. It's a lot of fun. So
I'm going to fill you in on, we have some drama on our card. I know you've been busy and stuff like that, so you might not have seen the emails or whatnot yet, but our main event is for the lightweight title. Dax Montenegro, I interviewed him for the Coga thing. He was the lightweight champ. It got stripped from him for being inactive. He's fighting Brian Nero, who is the champ. This is his first defense. And when I was talking to Dax, he straight up was like, no, that's my belt. I'm gonna come take it back. I didn't lose it. It got stripped from me. And he gave Brian like all the respects of being a great fighter and he earned it and stuff, but he is very much, no, that's my belt. I'm going to come take it. And Brian was like, that's cool. It's my defense. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. That's the attitude you got to have going in there for Dax, right? You got to go in there like that. So I know Brian's a tough competitor and a skilled guy. And he's a vet. He's been around a long time. He's an intelligent guy. Yep. I know Dax's name, and I can't picture what he looks like in my head.
He's actually from Lahaina. When I interviewed him, he's born and raised in Lahaina, and and now he trains with I don't remember his coach's name, but his coach was one of the main guys with Matt Hume and Demetrius.
Okay, awesome.
Right now,
awesome. So it's not AMC, right?
No.
But
hold on, I have it here.
I know the name. I just can't picture what he looks like. He didn't fight in Coga last time I was up there, did he?
No, he hasn't fought for a little bit.
I know that name for sure. Maybe it came across the board for one of my guys or something.
And then there is legit 4 dudes fighting out of Livewire, and that is essentially kind of Livewire's home base is where we'll be at. The first one I ever commentated was at the one we're going to be at, and when Andy Waters came out for Livewire, that place got so loud that it was ridiculous. And interviewing the guys from Livewire for the show, they were all telling me like, yeah, it's, there's other gyms around here, but being up where this one is, which it's way up north, this is basically their home turf that they're fighting at. And Andy Waters is making his comeback at a Coga cage. So I think it's going to be freaking nuts that night.
Yeah. I remember the Livewire crew from last time I was up there. I like those guys. They fought hard. Their coach was cool. They had a bunch of guys who came out and scrapped. So that's exciting for them.
Remember, man. they would be in a fight, and then like 2 fights later, they would be coming out with their guy with like, they'd have a black eye. One dude still had his gloves on. He just went in the back, turned around, walked right back out with this guy. Like, those dudes are great up there.
Yeah, you can tell there's a lot of camaraderie between the guys, and they got a strong thing going up there. So it'd be cool to see them in their kind of like their hometown area with their crowd. And we were trying to get a couple of their guys on our show in Vancouver, but it didn't work out because I think,
they probably booked for this one.
Yeah, they're a lot more booked for this one and stuff. I didn't realize that this next show is their hometown show, so that makes a lot of sense. So
let me ask you this as a fighter. So I'm new, like, I've been doing my show for a little bit, but I'm newer when I'm talking to fighters and stuff. And I think I fucked up. So I need your perspective. One of the dudes I interviewed, His name's Caleb Wheeler. This is his first fight. And when I was interviewing him, I didn't know that they didn't know what bout order they were fighting in. And so I had said to him, he's the first fight on the card. I was trying to ask, like, is that added pressure? Is this all that? But then I could tell him, look in his face, he didn't know that. And so I apologized to him, and he was like, "No, man, it's cool." Blah, blah. And then when we were done, I sent him a text and apologized again, said it was a dick move, hope it didn't mess with his head. And he sent me a text back that was like, "No, man, that's great news. Like, now I'm going to come out there and open the show, and the level I set, everyone's going to have to come up to. Like, don't worry about it," which that's the mentality you want, definitely. But as a fighter, did I mess up telling him he's coming out first?
No, I mean, was that the last show or is that the upcoming show?
This next one we're doing.
Yeah, no, he for one, those things change. They change the order of the bout sometimes.
Right.
For two, you got to be ready for that. And that's just part of it. When you're like, especially first fight, sometimes you're the first fight on the show. If he didn't know it then, he would have found it out eventually anyway.
Okay.
Got all the way till November to be nervous about it. So
okay. So I didn't fuck up saying that?
No.
Okay. I just felt bad. Like I didn't want it to be in his head or anything like that. Like I felt really bad. And I knew I could ask you and you could tell me.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you were the one to break it to him that he had an opponent change or something, it might be kind of more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And that would be more like, what the hell? Why didn't my coach tell me that? But,
fair.
But yeah, you know how that goes. Sometimes the lineups change anyway. So
what is this badass truck behind you?
Be careful doing that because, you might be wrong.
Yeah, completely. And I didn't, at the
after
as it came out, it was bad. But yeah, show me this truck.
My little C10 short body.
That's filthy.
Yeah, got the 24s on there.
Nice. Yeah. If I ever make it down there, you gonna drive me around in that?
And then I got my old boat here too, my old Malibu skier. They're both 80s, 88 Malibu and 87 Chevy.
Because the 80s and 90s, that's when quality stuff was made.
Yeah, like me.
You gonna drive me around that truck if I come down?
Sure, bro. We'll take a cruise as long as it's not freaking pitching too hard.
Fair. All right, now that our business is out of the way, I have fight-related questions to ask you. Coming up, we got Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. Who you got and how?
I don't know, man. I'd like to see Ngannou win, being the MMA guy. Big power puncher, but Tyson Fury's an intelligent fighter. He's so long. He's fought some of the biggest, baddest, meanest dudes in the world. So that from an MMA fighter's point of view, I'd like to see Ngannou go in there and whip his ass, but it's going to be tough for him to do that. I think if Ngannou wins, it'll be early. Otherwise, Tyson Fury wins a decision. You know what I mean? Unless he gets a late stoppage because he gets tired.
How do you feel as a MMA fighter, but also as a combat sport fighter? How do you feel when they do these crossovers? Francis Ngannou, Conor Mayweather, and then now we get.
It's great. I think it's great,
Logan
man.
Paul and other MMA fighters.
I think it's great. It's bringing more money to these guys. They're getting paid good. So it puts some of that diversity out there as far as having more options to make money and seeing the dollar value go up for us as athletes, and proving that a guy like Conor could go in there and go toe to toe with a guy like Floyd Mayweather for even as long as he did is pretty impressive for for an MMA guy in a sense. If you look at the history of our sport 10, 15 years ago, that never would have happened for a lot of reasons. Nor would we have been able to, MMA fighters have been able to keep up like that. You know what I mean? Be able to box like Diaz and all these guys are crossing over. These boxers, though, they're getting a lot of our guys past their prime, except for maybe the Mayweather Conor one. That was the opposite. But the rest of the boxing matchups you've seen have been Jake Paul fighting old MMA fighters.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it too. It's like, let's fight some dudes who are in their prime and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they want to pay me some big money. I'll go in there and
hell yes. Oh, I would be there if you're doing that. The next one, John Jones versus Stipe, Madison Square Garden for the heavyweight belt. Who do you want? Who do you got? How's it happen?
John Jones is so talented, man. I just don't see how Stipe beats him. Stipe, with all due respect, being an older guy myself, he's looking like he's aging. The age is catching up with him a little bit. he just, doesn't look the same, which obviously same for myself. But to compete with a guy like John Jones, it's tough, man. I feel like that's a tough fight for him to win. I don't see where he's going to win it. John's just so damn talented.
But I mean, all the props to Stipe for stepping up and saying, "Yeah, I'll do it, and I'm going to beat his ass and win my belt." I said on my show what I want. I agree with everything you just said, and I won't be shocked if John Jones puts away another legend. But in my fantasy world, I would like Stipe to win, get that belt, and then Stipe retires with his belt, with the the defending record he has, and he beats John Jones. He already doesn't have to do anything else. He does that, you drop that belt right off into the sunset, bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you walk away as the greatest heavyweight in the world right now. People talk about him being one of the best. Anyway, you got to go and beat someone like John Jones to be the best, bottom line. Whatever the controversy is behind him, he's the best. He's the best, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And if you could go beat John Jones, that would be something special for him. And that would help his legacy. And hopefully he'd be a very rich man for the rest of his life if he's not already.
So the last one, do you think we see Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler? Does that fight happen?
I don't know. I don't pay a lot of attention to the MMA media and stuff all the time. And I heard he's not wanting to fight under the USADA rules, which I can understand from seeing his pictures. What he looks like.
He did last week, filed the paperwork and did whatever he has to. So he is back in the USADA pool, but now it's like,
I heard the deal with USADA. They canceled the deal with USADA based off the whole Conor McGregor stuff.
It's a weird, he went in, they filed the paperwork, and then this week, then they announced that I think January 1st, their deal with USADA's up and they're going a different way. So there's a bunch of weird shit going on there, but Conor did put the paperwork in, but then I guess there's a potential 6-month thing he's got to go through. So if this fight happens, we're waiting until December. And I had said on one of my episodes a couple weeks ago, I don't see Chandler continuing to wait and jump through all these hoops for Conor. I think Chandler's going to get goddamn bored. He wants to fight, and he's going to start going out there and being like, who else wants to fight? I'm not waiting for this guy.
Right, but
so I still don't know if we're getting this fight.
The opportunity to fight Conor financially for anybody is going to change their life. I don't care. He could go fight Oliveira or whoever. It's not going to make him the kind of money fighting Conor's going to make him.
So you think he keeps training and waits for that Conor fight?
I think so, as long as he can, unless it just totally gets pushed out. But it's worth waiting another 6 months if you're going to, put a couple more zeros on the end of that paycheck.
Get that, what's Conor called, that red panty night?
Yeah, man. So I don't blame him for waiting around to try to get that fight with Conor. I heard of something about they're trying to get that fight in UFC 300, which I don't know. When's that scheduled?
I think December. No.
Yeah, so I heard
January. I can't remember, but I did hear that as well.
It's something to do with all that, and USADA and the 6-month wait and Conor, and I'm trying to make that happen, but who freaking knows, man?
So if that fight happens, how do you see that fight going? I really feel that's a pick 'em either way.
It's tough, man. I bet against Conor a lot earlier in his career, so I really have a hard time betting against him now because he's done some pretty magical things out there over the years that everybody doubted him, from Eddie Alvarez to Jose Aldo and the way he beat those guys, Chad Mendez, the way he just put those guys away, just like he said he was going to in a sense. And everybody thought he was insane for, what I mean, back then. So, and I was one of them going, yeah, right, Jose Aldo's going to kill you. And so now I really have a hard time betting against Conor. So I'm going to go with Conor. Even though Chandler's a beast with him, he's about as tough as they get, man.
I had never bet against Conor. I bet against him one time, and that was when he fought Cowboy, because Cowboy's my all-time favorite. It's the only time I bet against Conor, and exactly what you said. Conor destroyed him, and we didn't see it coming with that shoulder. He just does these things that are fucking weird, but on the other hand of that, Michael Chandler really just puts his mouthpiece in, and he doesn't care if we're standing, going to the ground. He shows up to fight, and he also just drags dudes out. To me, he's kind of the version of an MMA Rocky. You have to stop him to win this fight.
Yeah, he's a grinder, man. I trained with him a little bit back in the day. He's one of the hardest working, motivating guys I've been around. And it shows with his collegiate wrestling career and what he's done in MMA and stuff. Like, he's a freaking beast, man. So you can't put it past him. He definitely go out there and whoop Connor's ass. Man, it should be a great fight if it happens. I hope it does.
Yep. All right, I'm going to let you get back to dad stuff. You have Fight for Lahaina coming up October 20th. I'll put the links in the description of this.
Yep.
And then you're coming to me, Coga, November 4th. And then you're getting on a plane to Brazil, November 5th.
Yep. Pretty crazy rest of the year here for me, but things are slowing down for the fight team over here. There's not as many local fights and stuff the rest of the year, so that it's nice to go travel and do some seminars, which I love to coach and travel the world. And I can't think of two better places to go be it besides Hawaii and Brazil.
Yeah, so. 100% agree, man. All right, dude, go do dad stuff, and I will see you on November 4th.
All right, brother. Good chat.
All right, sir. Thank you. And that's a wrap on this episode of the Neon Go Show. Big props and thanks to Ed Herman for coming by and hanging out. Again, if you can help out the charity he's working for, him, Kendall Grove, coming together, doing good things for the people. Fight for Lahaina. The IG links for those charities are in the description of this episode. As always, you stay you. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be where I'm at. Right here. The Neon Go Show. And as Chuck Willery would say, we'll be back in 2 and 2.
Hey, this is Titus, signing off at WKRP in Cincinnati.